Yep.
Anti, feminine. Katabti.
Yep.
Then, okay, Antuma, katabtuma.
Right.
You both. Antunna, katabtunna.
Correct.
Means you all. Ana, katabtu, means
Yep.
I.
I what? I wrote.
I wrote. And then nahnu, katabtu,
Katabna.
tuna. Katabna. Nahna
No,
means
katabna.
we all. Katabna.
Yeah. So, sister, Nasreen Abbas, can I pair you? So, you're in London, correct? Or is it?
Yes, I'm in London. Yes.
Yeah. So, can I pair you with another sister?
Yeah. Okay.
So, I'm going to pair you with another sister so that you can do revision with each other.
Sure.
Okay.
Sure.
Is that okay? So, inshallah, I'll pair you up so that at least you can revise with someone else as well. Thank you. Next person I'm going to bring.
Jazakallah.
You're welcome. Next person I'm going to bring on the mic is Sister Farwa Rizvi, Farwa Jafri.
Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam. Sister Farwa.
Yes.
I'm going to ask you, how do you say, well, how confident are you with the past tense?
A little.
Okay. So first of all, let's conjugate and then I'll ask you questions. Go ahead.
Sure. Okay. From the top, it's he, kataba, he wrote, huma, they two, the kataba, they two men wrote, hum, they all men. For that, it is katabu, they all men wrote, he, here, she.
No. So here katabat, she, singular wrote. Huma, katabata, they two females wrote.
Yeah. Yeah. So katabat, she wrote. Katabta, they both.
No. Katabata.
Katabata, they two females wrote. Katabna, they all females wrote. Katabta, you wrote, male. Katabtuma, you two men wrote. Katabtum, you all men wrote. Katabti, you female wrote. Katabtuma, you both male or female wrote. It's the same. Katabtunna, you all females wrote. Katabtu, I wrote. Katabna, we all wrote.
Right. How do you say I wrote in Arabic?
I wrote is katabtu.
How do you say we wrote?
Katabna.
He wrote.
Kataba.
She wrote.
Katabat.
You one female wrote.
Katabti.
You one male wrote.
Katabta.
You all males wrote.
Katabtum.
You all females wrote.
Katabtunna.
Excellent. Is that clear?
Yes, thank you.
Right, come back on the mic again.
Yeah.
Okay, now what I'm going to do, you haven't got this, you can't see on the screen now.
Okay.
Try to conjugate now.
For all from the top?
Yep.
Okay. Kataba, he wrote. Kataba, they two wrote. Katabu, they all men wrote.
Correct.
Katabat, is it katabat?
Yep, katabat is correct.
He wrote. Katabta.
No, katabata.
Katabata, sorry, I always get this wrong. Katabata, they both females wrote, and katabna, they all females wrote.
Correct.
Then it's katabta, you male wrote, katabtuma, you two men wrote, and katabtum, you all men wrote.
Correct.
Katabti, you female wrote. Katabtuma, you two females wrote. Katabtunna, you all females wrote. And katabtu, I wrote. And katabna, we all wrote.
Excellent. Excellent.
Thank you. Thank you.
That was very good. Is it because you remember them because we did it before Shahr Ramadan?
Yes, we did in Ramadan. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, so because I had to prepare yourself for Shahr Ramadan, I had to do it then. Now, because I'm starting book 2, I have to revise it again so that I can start book 2 itself. I've sent book 2, and has anyone opened the book 2 and looked at the first lesson?
No, sorry.
Okay, that's fine. No. The reason why, even in the first lesson, they've got present tense verbs. So I need to make everyone learn past, present imperatives quite well, so that
Alright.
once you start the book, it's going to be an easy flow for yourself. You will
Inshallah.
understand the book, and it will not be it will be not something difficult for you to
So
comprehend
confusing.
yourself.
Perfect.
Yeah. It'll be an easier transition for yourself.
Inshallah.
Right.
Thank you.
Jazakallah. Can I have next on the mic, Sister Zahra Rizvi?
Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam. Sister Zahra, any
I
questions?
just have a quick question before we start.
Yep.
You know, for the first 6, you said the attached pronouns were the very last letter, and
Yep.
then going on from, for example, anta for you male, the
Yep.
attached pronoun is going to be ta with a fatha.
Yep.
Continuing, is it tuma or just ma for antuma?
Okay, very good question. It's ta, tuma, tum. Ti,
Ta,
tuma, tunna.
sorry, one second. Ta, tuma. Oh, right. Ta, tuma, tum.
Tum.
Yep, got it.
All of the all in this from 6 to 12, 6 to 11, 6 to 12, the ta, tuma, tum, ti, tuma. These are the actual attached pronouns with the verb, which represent who is performing the action.
Yep.
And the verb kataba, that is the only verb, kataba, where there is no pronoun attached to the verb.
That was my question, exactly. So the original form that it comes in for the past tense, that is for he, for the male.
Yes, and
Right,
huwa is hidden in it. And
got it.
I thought when you asked the way you asked me the question, I realized that you've actually realized that there's something, there's one verb, there's no pronoun, and I realized that
Yeah.
you're trying to highlight towards that. So that's the reason why I've actually answered your question before you even asked the question.
Okay, great.
Yeah, that is right. So huwa itself, huwa kataba, it's a 3-letter verb, kataba.
Mhm.
There's no additional letter which is added. So the huwa pronoun is hidden in kataba.
Got it. Yeah.
And then in the dual, we have the alif at the end, which
Yeah.
represents they both, huma.
Yeah.
And in katabu, the waw and the alif represents they. And the ruling is that whenever there is a waw, for the suitability of the waw, the previous letter is given a dhamma.
Yep, got it.
So it becomes katabu.
Mhm.
And then this is a sign of feminine, katabat.
Yep.
And then katabata. The ta is the sign of feminine. Alif is the sign of
They
dual.
both.
Yeah, exactly. And then katabna
Right.
is the sign of plural female. So
Okay.
when you do the plural female, the 3-letter verb kataba, the ba becomes silent and it becomes katabna.
Yep.
And then from then onwards, ta tuma tum, ti tuma tunna, tu na.
Tu and na. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
Okay.
once I've actually, with yourselves, I may do something. Normally, my method of teaching, it's different with every class. The way the comprehension level and the way the student are able to interact with the lessons, I teach accordingly. So it's not, you'll not see all the classes be exactly the same. There's different approaches, different ways, depending upon the comprehension and the understanding of the students itself. So with yourself and this class, I may do something different from the other classes. What I'm planning to do with your class, I may even teach all of the 16 patterns first of the verbs. Once I've done that, then I'll be starting book 2 with yourselves. It all depends. Today's the first lesson, so I'm just going to assess what's going to be better. So the benefit of me teaching you all of the 16 forms now is that, number one, your Quranic reading of the Quran becomes much more fluent. You will understand when the verb is coming in the past, present, or whether there is additional letters being added. For example, I'll give you an example. Ghafara, Ghafur. The word Ghafara means he forgave. Yes, Ghafara.
Yep.
Now, if in the Quran and even in our Salah, we say Astaghfirullah Rabbi wa atubu alayh. So Astaghfiru is present tense And there are 3 letters added onto ghafara: alif, sin, ta. Istaghfara. Now, in the Arabic language, you have a minimum of 3 letters, and then you add additional letters to the minimal, to the triliteral verb itself to change or alter the meaning itself. So istaghfara now comes in the meaning of seeking repentance or seeking forgiveness.
Okay.
That's how Arabic language works. Now, even I'll give you another example. The other example is in the Quran, in Surah Baqarah, in the 4th juz, it says lan tanalul birra. Lan tanalul birra. It's tanalu. So the word tanalu or watawaso, that's another example. Watawaso, it means to give advice, admonishment to each other. So this pattern itself, it's a pattern where there's additional letters added, which is the ta and alif, which gives it a meaning of a mutual action between 2 individuals.
Okay.
So, for example, I may be exchanging admonishment with you, so it's watawaso.
So وتواصوا بالحق وتواصوا بالصبر.
Exactly. So in the translation, you know what, you not get that meaning across, but when you read the Arabic and you know Arabic, you will understand this is a social action which the person is performing.
Right, right.
So that is the benefit you will have, is that you will understand. Of course, with the other classes I haven't, but I'm thinking with this class, let's try a different method and see how it works with yourselves. So what this will do, your understanding of the Quran will improve, and then inshallah the remaining 130, I will cover that after book 2. So once I've covered 130, 140, you will have 90%, 95% understanding of all of the verbs in the Quran.
Sorry, 130
Patterns.
130 patterns.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
So the basic patterns are 16. So all of them actually follow the basic structure. And the only reason why they're 140 is because sometimes some letters, some verbs have weak letters, some have it in the middle, end, beginning, and so forth. So because of that, there are 140 patterns itself.
Wow. Okay.
Okay, so I may do, let me assess how things go, and I may teach at 16 and the remaining after book 2, as I'm going to plan to do with the other class who has finished book 2 itself. Right. Can I ask sister, is it Sister Sadiqa Aladina?
Assalamu alaikum.
Sorry,
Sorry.
Sister Asaria. Sorry, my mistake. Sister Asaria. Sister Asaria, Bismillah. Last past tense, kataba.
Okay. Kataba, he wrote. Kataba, they both masculine wrote. Katabu, they all masculine wrote. Katabat, she wrote. Katabata, they both feminine wrote. Katabna, they all feminine wrote. Katabta, you male wrote. Katabtuma, you both male wrote. Katabtum, you all male wrote. Katabti, you female wrote. Katabtuma, you both female wrote. Katabtunna, you all female wrote. Katabtu, I wrote. Katabna, we wrote.
Is this clear for you?
Yeah.
Did you do this last time?
I've done it many times. I keep forgetting, so I just need practice.
Okay, that's
I
fine.
memorize it, and then, like, if I don't do it for a few weeks, I forget it again.
Yeah. Practice makes, the more you practice, the better it becomes. That's perfect. So, is it Muhammad Merchant or is it Sister Fizam Merchant who's using Muhammad Merchant's ID? Alaikum Assalam.
No, I wasn't able to join these classes before, so I'm just being an audience for today. And I do not have the copy of the booklet. I'm just looking at it from the screen, but I've taken the screenshot of this chapter.
Okay.
So is this the chapter itself, what is seen on the screen, or is there a booklet like a PDF book?
So there's a PDF book in the group itself, which I'm using. There's book 1, book 2. So I'm just preparing this group now to start book 2. And I've actually, these are some handouts which I prepared myself to prepare the students. So the transition is easy for the students.
Yeah.
So by all means, I think Brother Mohammed, I think you did attend a few sessions initially, correct?
No, no, I haven't. But on a separate note, I have a Saturday class that I joined somewhere else, and I am doing Arabic to a certain degree. So I have done this Masi Muzare and Amr. So I can conjugate these 14 conjugations.
Okay. Are you doing the actual the Saturday Hausa in Willesden Green?
No. I'm not doing that one. I'm doing it from somebody in Mumbai. So
Okay, that's fine. So how long have you been studying Arabic for?
it's been 3 years now.
Sorry?
3 years.
3 years. So which level have you reached?
Because it's once a week, so the things are a bit slow at the moment. In the sense
Okay.
that we've done verbs, adjectives, male, genders,
Yep.
then plural, singular. So those sort of things. And at the moment, what I'm doing now is broken plural and irregular plural, gair salim, and all those sort of things.
Okay, so you're probably at the level of my book 2 students.
Okay.
So my book 2 students, they've completed book 2. Message me, Brother Muhammad, and I'll send you book 2. So maybe you want to join the book 2 revision sessions, where you get a revision of everything. And then
This one is a very basic section. Is it just started recently?
no, this session's been good. No, this we've had about 15 sessions already. So the other group, they've been studying for a year and a half. So more year, and they've done about 50 to 70 hours of Arabic already.
Okay. I mean, the reason I have joined is basically just to sort of keep refreshing, because I know it's a very tricky and not easy, simple thing to do, because Arabic is not the mother tongue. So
yeah. So inshallah, by all means, join in, and I think probably book 2 would be better for you. That's going to be.
And when does that particular session?
Tuesdays. Tuesday at
same time
7:30.
Okay, same time Tuesday. Okay.
Yeah, 7:30 on Tuesdays.
Would you be able to share me the book separately? I have just had a chat with you this morning as well, where you sent me a chart, because what I need actually at the moment is I'm trying to understand that if all these different kinds of words and their verbs and conjugates is on one chart, where one can sort of draw like an organization chart, that if you come from Mazi, you do this, what changes in the front and what changes in at the end of it. So
I've actually made one myself. I'll share that in the group.
Okay, that will be really useful, because at the moment there are so many things which is happening that sometimes it really gets missed out, actually, to be honest.
Yes, and that's the reason why the teacher has to be really organized teaching Arabic language. I've seen teachers who teach from left, right, and center, from everywhere, and it's like having a cocktail with Arabic language. So when the teacher starts making cocktails out of Arabic, then you're like dropping fast. This is the thing with Arabic language. Either you try to make everything easy as possible for the students.
And I have also done a bit of Arab as well, wherein we have done Raf, Mansoob, and Jar, and Harf Jar, and I've done all that.
That's fine. Inshallah, that's fine. Okay, message me, and I'll speak to you soon, inshallah. Okay.
Sure. All right.
And conjugate the past from kataba.
You mean, should I do the conjugation for kataba?
Yes.
So kataba, katabu, katabta, katabna, katabta, katabat, katabta, katabna, katib, katabta, katabtuma, katabte, katabtuma, katabtunna, katabto, katabna.
How do you say I wrote?
I wrote is mutakallam wahid, so that is katabto.
We wrote.
Katabtuna.
She wrote.
So she wrote. Katabto. No. Katabat.
You one male wrote.
You male one. Kataba.
Nope.
You male.
You one male wrote.
You one male. Katabto.
Nope.
You one male is. Oh, katibat.
Nope.
Katabat.
Thank you.
Katabat.
Katabta.
Katabta.
Yes. So you one female wrote.
Katibte.
Incorrect.
كتبت.
Katabti.
Katabti. Okay.
You all male wrote.
You all male. Katabu.
Nope.
You all. Oh, you all male. Okay, sorry. Katabtum. Katabtum.
You all females wrote.
Katabtunna.
Okay, that's fine. You still need to brush up, brother.
Yeah.
I'm not happy with the performance. So I think probably stay with this class because I'm going to do a revision of everything. Because
Okay. No. Glad to hear that. Yeah.
yeah, because the other class, they're far beyond this itself, so they're quite advanced there. So let's just move on. Jazakallah, brother. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
Next person, Sister Batul Andani.
Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam. Can you do kataba, please?
Yeah. Kataba, huwa kataba, he wrote. Huma kataba, they both male wrote. Hum katabu, katabu, kataba.
Katabu.
Katabu, yeah. They all male wrote.
Correct.
Hiya katabat, she wrote. Huma katabta.
Katabata.
Katabata. Huma katabata, they both female wrote. Hunna katabna, they all female wrote. Anta katabta, you male wrote. Antuma katabtuma, you both male wrote. Antum katabtum, they all, no, you all male wrote. Anti, you female wrote. Antuma katabtuma, you both female wrote.
Antunna.
Antunna katabtunna, you all female wrote. Ana katabtu, I wrote. Nahnu katabna, we wrote.
Excellent. Right. The next person who has not had a chance yet to come on the mic. Has everyone had a chance? Yes. Okay, that's fine. Now, next thing I'm going to teach. Now, can you see that with al-madi is past tense? We have al-ma'lum and al-majhul. So, al-ma'lum in English is called the active participle verb. Active participle or active verb. So, active verb is a verb where the doer of the action is known. For example, kataba Zaydun risalatan. Kataba al-Zaydun risalatan. Zayd wrote a letter. So who wrote the letter? Zayd wrote the letter. So that's...
Sorry. Al-ma'lum is the active participle.
Active noun. Active verb, sorry. Active verb.
Active verb. And what's about al-majhul?
Give me 2 minutes. I will explain that. Let me explain one first.
Okay, thank you, sir.
So I'm going to write an example in the chat so that you know. Risala. I'm just going to write something down. Kataba Zaydu risalatan. Zayd wrote a letter.
Are you writing, Sheikh?
Yeah, I'm writing in the actual thing. Why?
No, just because. Okay.
I'm just writing it in the chat box so that you know what it is. So kataba Zaydun risalatan. So Zayd wrote a letter. So Zayd is one who's performed the action. Now, in the English language as well, we have the passive verb. The passive verb is that the doer of the action is kept discreet or is not mentioned, but the person who is the victim of the action is known. For example, the same sentence, Zaid wrote a letter. Sister Fatima Versi. Sister Fatima Versi.
Yes, Sheikh.
If we want to say,
Yeah.
if we didn't want to mention Zaid's name and just wrote letter, how would you write passive? A passive verb.
Kutiba.
Yeah, I know it's
for
kutiba,
Zaid.
but
So
in
it's
English, how would you say in English?
He
no,
wrote?
no, a letter
no.
has been, a letter has been,
Written.
yeah, a letter has been
That is
written.
written.
Yeah.
Written.
So the person who's wrote the letter, we don't know, but the action of writing a letter is known. Is that clear? So that is called majhul.
Could you repeat again? So
I'm gonna write this down. I'm gonna send this across.
could you repeat the statement again, please?
Yeah. So
Perfect.
when we want to, let me just write this down. 2 seconds. Let me just send this across so that so kutiba risalatun. So when we say kutiba risalatun, means a letter has been
Written, is it?
yeah. So this verb is called passive verb.
So is that majhul?
Yes.
Al-majhul, yeah?
Yes.
Passive word, yeah?
Yes.
Passive verb, okay.
So that is majhul.
Majhul, okay, yeah.
Majhul means something which is unknown. So what is unknown? The doer.
The doer.
The doer of the verb is unknown or not mentioned.
Does file mean doer, Sheikh?
No, file means the person who's performing the action.
Not known.
Okay. File means the person who's performing the action. Is that clear for you, sister? For you, all of you in the class?
Yes.
So anytime we like kutiba alaykum, like kutiba alaykum as-siyamu kama kutiba. So fasting has been wajib or prescribed upon you.
Prescribed.
Yeah, has been prescribed. So we didn't say kataballahu as-siyam, but we said kutiba as-siyamu. Is that clear, Sister Zahra, Farwa? Sister Samira, Deoji?
Yes,
Yes.
So even though
Yes,
we
it
know
is.
it's Allah, but we still, even though we know it's Allah, but even then it's not, it doesn't say Allah.
Yes, yes,
Kataba,
kutiba. Yeah.
right? Okay.
So it's deliberately, intentionally, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has kept his name discreet for eloquency or for other reasons itself, okay? So it would be many other reasons, okay? So if whenever you want to make a 3-letter verb into passive, you make the first letter with a dhamma, the second letter with a kasra, and the last letter with a fatha on the pattern of kutiba fu'ila. Fu'ila, okay? So kutiba, kutibu, kutibat, kutibata, kutibna, kutibta, kutibtuma, kutibtum, kutibti, kutibtuma, kutibtunna, kutibtu, kutibna. So kutiba means it has been written. Or another example, dhuriba. Dharaba means he hit. Dhuriba means he has been hit. Who hit him? Who hit him? We don't know.
We don't know, yeah.
Yeah.
Is Zariba, yeah?
Dharaba means he hit, and dhuriba, he has been hit.
He has been, okay.
Is that clear?
Yeah.
That is majhul.
Okay.
Sister Farwa, Sister Samira, Siddiqa, Zahra, is that clear?
Yes, it is. Thank you.
So I'm going to ask Sister, who should I get? Zahra Rizvi. Kutiba, can you conjugate that for me?
Okay. Bismillah. Kutiba, he wrote, no, sorry,
It has been.
it has been written.
Yep. There's no translation for don't worry about the translation. Just let's conjugate the Arabic first.
Okay. So literally just reading kutiba,
Yeah.
okay. Kutiba, kutiba, kutibu, kutibat, kutibata, kutibna, kutibta, kutibtuma, kutibtum, kutibti, kutibtuma, kutibtunna, kutibtu, and kutibna.
Excellent. Kind of next person, sister. Who shall I have next? Sister Nasreen Abbas. Sister Sadiqa Aladina then. Sadiqa Aladina, can you come on the mic?
Sheikh,
Sorry, Sheikh. Oh,
Yeah, let me get Sister Sadiqa Aladina first. Yes, Sister Sadiqa Aladina.
okay, all right, okay.
I just wanted to ask, so
Yep.
with the majhul, with the
Yep.
they both,
Yep.
so kutiba, does that mean they both have been written?
No, Kataba means he wrote. Kutiba, it has been written.
And then what would the one underneath that mean?
Which one?
Yeah, kutiba, what does that
That's
translate?
what, yeah, Kutiba, it has been.
Yeah, it has been written,
Yep.
but the one underneath, kutiba,
Yeah, means
what-
they two things. There are two things which have been written.
oh, right, okay, thank you.
Okay.
Yeah.
So can you conjugate Kutiba for me?
Kutiba, kutiba, kutibu, kutibat, kutibata, kutibna, kutibta, kutibtuma, kutibtum, kutibti, kutibtuma, kutibtunna, kutibtu, kutibna.
Excellent. Right. I'm going to move on to the next pattern.
Yeah, question, please. I'm
Yep.
sorry.
Go
Can
ahead.
you go back to the last slide, please?
Yep.
So here, like you auntie, right?
Yep.
So kutibti.
Yep.
So we already know it's you who wrote it. Like it's not unknown, right?
So what happens is that some of these majhuls, they're not, so all of the forms of the majhul are not really used as such because they don't make sense, as you highlighted. That is correct. So when we teach morphology as such, we teach the actual formation. This is how it comes. So normally you will use probably the first three or two itself.
Okay.
Or for example, kutibti makes no sense. Dhuribti, if you said dhuribti, you have been hit.
Oh, you
So
have
yeah. So it depends upon the verb itself. Some verbs will not make sense. Some verbs will make sense. For example, dhuribti.
Oh, dhuribti, you have been hit, but we don't know
Exactly.
who you is.
Yeah. No, dhuribti, you have been hit. Who hit you? We don't know.
Okay, I got it. Yeah, thank you.
Got it? So this is what it does. It just represents the person who's been inflicted, but the person who did the action of hitting the individual, we don't know. And it doesn't necessarily mean that all verbs will have, and the other thing you need to remember, all verbs, they don't really have the passive tense. There's only certain verbs will have the actual passive tense itself.
I see. Okay.
So for example, normally if you put who as a question mark before a passive tense verb, if it makes sense, then you know it's a passive tense verb. For example, who hit you? No. So sorry, Dhuriba, he has been hit. So Dhuriba, he has been hit. Okay, this is a passive tense verb. Dhuriba is a passive tense verb. Now, I need to explain this now. I'm not too sure whether you'll understand, but this is a really important point to understand about passive tense verb. Now, passive tense verbs are only made for one type of particular verb. Now, do you know in English language there are two types of verbs? Does anyone know there are two types of verbs in the English language?
So what you just said, active verb and passive verb, or are you
No, no,
talking-
no. They're called transitive verb and intransitive verb.
Mhm.
Has anyone heard of these terms before? No?
No, no.
Okay. Now, in English language, there are two types of verbs. There is one verb which completes its meaning just with a doer. He went. He went. Makes sense. He went. He came back. Makes sense. It doesn't require an object. For example, Zaid hit. Zaid hit. Who did he hit?
I don't know.
We don't know. Is it so? This verb, if we said Zaid hit him, does it make sense? Zaid hit him.
Yes.
So we have Zaid and the person who's doing the action, and plus you have a pronoun coming after him. Zaid hit him. Does that make sense? Yes?
Who did he hit?
No,
Yeah, but
no, yeah, well, because you put the pronoun, that's the person who's been hit. Zaid hit him. So if a noun, so in a ma'loom, so you go to the ma'loom, if a ma'loom verb makes sense with a pronoun, if it makes sense, if you add the pronoun who, then that verb in Arabic is called fi'l al-muta'addi. I'll write this term down, al-fi'l al-muta'addi. Give me 1 second. So because I'm doing the majhul, I'm just explaining this for, and it will benefit yourself in the future as well. Let me just send this across now. Give me 2 seconds. Let me just write, give me 2 seconds, write these examples down, and then I'll explain what's happening here. So these things are important for you to understand Arabic language. So that's the reason why I had to send this across. Okay, I've sent in the group. Can you read the first example, Sister Farwa?
For the kutiba,
Yeah. No, so Dhahaba Aliyun.
sure, from the chat.
From the WhatsApp.
Yeah, I'll do that. So, ذهب علي. Start from the top.
Yeah. So Dhahaba Aliyun means Ali went.
Okay.
I'm sending you just a message in the group. Dhahaba Aliyun, Ali went. So Ali went itself, it completes its meaning without requiring an object.
Right.
So normally we have a verb, we have a verb, doer, and object, correct? When a verb itself. And some verbs they do not require an object.
Mm-hmm.
So those verbs who do not require an object, you don't make fi'l majhul for them.
Okay.
Is that clear?
Okay, sure, because it's only the doer is missing, and if the object is also missing, then the verb itself doesn't communicate anything.
No. The verb which completes its meaning with the verb which completes its meaning with a doer it doesn't require an object. For that reason, there will be no need for making a majhul verb for it.
Right, right.
For example, dhahaba Ali, Ali went. It
Mhm.
doesn't require an object upon whom Ali is doing the action upon.
Right, absolutely.
And if the other, and that's called fi'l lazim.
Okay.
In Arabic, what is fi'l lazim is called a intransitive verb. In English, we call it intransitive verb. And fi'l muta'addi is called a transitive verb. A transitive verb is that verb which requires a doer and an object.
Right.
So the example being Dharaba Aliyun Zaidan. Ali hit
Zaid.
Zaid. So we have an object as well.
Right.
So when there's an object, that allows you to make a passive tense verb for it. Because in a passive tense verb, what we intend to do is we try to make the person who has performed the action or the verb, we try to hide him, to make him discreet or not mention him itself. So that's the reason why we say Dhuriba Zaidun. Sister Zahra Rizvi, Sister Sadiqa Asaria, is that clear?
Yeah, it is, but I have a question. So
What?
you said that kutiba didn't make sense being conjugated as majhul. But my question is, kutiba, does that mean they were both written, or does it mean it was written by both of them?
So kutiba, so depending upon the context, so kutiba itself, the word itself, kutiba, it can be written, it can be translated, depending upon the translation, whether you are trying to refer the two individuals, it has been written by two individuals. Yes, it can mean that itself. Depending on
Sheikh, like that ayah kutiba alayhumus siyam, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah,
like that.
that's different. Kutiba is a singular form. Kutiba. So when it's kutiba, it means that there's two things which have been written by someone.
So
So-
you're saying either two things have been written by someone, or two people have written that thing.
Two things have been written by someone.
But it's in the translation of they both. So would it not mean it's been written by both of them?
So let me explain. Let me explain again. Dhuriba means he has been hit. Okay.
Yep. Yep.
Dhuriba. So kutiba is slightly difficult for you to. It'll be easier to understand dhuriba. Dhuriba, he has been hit.
Yep.
Dhuriba, they too have been hit. So there are two individuals who have been hit by some individuals. Who we don't know. So it does not mean when we say dhuriba that there are two individuals who actually hit them. It means there are two individuals who have been inflicted by the action. It could be one.
Yep.
Yeah, it could be one individual who hit two people.
Yep. Yep. So in the same way, that's what I mean. So sorry, you said one individual could, so you're saying two individuals have been hit. So in the same way, could we not say two individuals have written it?
Yes.
Like,
yes, that's right. Two things have been written by someone, or two documents have been written by someone.
okay, so and if I wanted to say all of these documents have been written, I would say kutibu.
Yes.
I wouldn't, that doesn't mean that this group of people have written it.
No.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
So the things normally what happens is that if you, so now this again is ready to something else. Normally, when you're referring to non-living things, so when you write a letter or document, they are irrational nouns. So with irrational nouns, you won't need to use the plurals or the duals. You would just use the singulars.
Okay. Okay.
So you will say kutibat. A letter has been written. That is it. There's no need to use the dual or the plurals itself and so forth.
So if I wanted to say this bunch of letters have been written, how do I say that?
So these bunch of letters, you will use the singular kutibat.
Because bunch is one. that denotes many inside it?
No, because in the Arabic language, they've allowed that you can, when it's irrational nouns, you could use a singular for irrational noun, a singular verb with plurals for irrational nouns. So if it's human beings, then we use a plurals, but anything non-living, we use the singulars itself.
Okay, thank you.
I know we're going on a tangent on Arabic grammar, but this is normally happens with passive tense. Just remember that whenever majhul comes, it comes in the meaning it has been, in the meaning of being itself. That's the most important thing. And then in practice, you will understand how they're coming in the format and how they actually work itself. Okay. Right. I need to move on. Now I want to do Dharaba. Can I choose Sister Fatima Versi?
Yes, Sheikh.
How do you say I hit?
ضربت.
She hit. She hit.
ضربت.
We hit.
ضربنا.
He hit.
ضرب.
Correct. Thank you. Jazakallah, sister. Sister Sadiqa Asaria. Can you come on the mic?
Yeah.
The verb is fataha. Fataha means he opened. How do you say I opened?
فتحت.
She opened.
فتحت.
We opened.
فتحنا.
You all boys opened.
فتحتم.
Excellent. You all females opened.
فتحتن.
Excellent. Jazakallah, sister. MashaAllah. Sister Farwa Jafri, can you come on the mic?
Yes,
The verb is alima. He knew. How do you say I knew?
I knew. Fatah.
Alima.
Alimtu.
Alimtu. And we knew.
Alimna.
She knew.
Alimti.
You all
No,
females.
she, sorry, it's alimta. No.
Alimat.
Alimat.
You all females knew.
You is alimtunna.
You two females knew.
You two female, alimtuma.
Excellent. Sister Zahra Rizvi.
Yep.
Which one should I give you? Let's do Alima. She knew.
Alimat.
He knew.
Alima.
I knew.
Alimtu.
You one female knew.
Alimti.
You one male knew.
Alimta.
You all males knew.
You all male. Alimtum.
Excellent. They all boys knew.
Alimu.
Excellent. Next person, Sister Samira Deoji.
Yes, Sheikh.
I knew.
Alima. Alimtu.
We knew.
Alimna.
She knew.
Alimat.
They all females knew.
Alimtunna.
What was the question?
They all females knew.
And you said alimtunna.
Yeah.
Alim.
Alimna.
Correct. You all boys knew.
You all boys knew. Alimtum.
Excellent. And finally, you all females knew.
You all females. Alimtunna.
Excellent. Next person, Sister Batul Andani. Sister Batul?
Yes.
How do you say he knew?
He knew. Alima.
She knew.
Alimtu. Alimtu.
Alimat.
Alimat. Alimat. Sorry.
You one boy knew.
You one boy knew. You one boy. Alimta.
Good. You one female knew.
Alimat. Alimti.
Excellent. I knew.
Alimtu.
We knew.
Alimna.
Excellent. Nasreen Abbas.
Yes, Sheikh. Sorry.
I hit.
ضربتنا.
Darabtu. Darabtu.
Okay. Sorry. ضربت.
And she hit.
ضرب Zaribta.
She hit. Darabat.
Zarabat.
She hit. Darabat. You, one boy, hit.
Zarabtum.
Nope, that's you, all boys hit.
Zarabta.
You, one female, hit.
Zarabti.
You, all females, hit.
Zarabtunna.
You, all boys, hit.
Zarabtuma.
Darabtum.
Zarabtum.
MashaAllah, you're getting there. You're improving.
Thank you.
Okay, that's fine.
Jazakallah.
Next person, I'm gonna move on. I'm gonna move on to the next phase because I want to finish off. I've got 10 minutes to finish off. Okay, give me 2 seconds. Does anyone have any questions before I move on to the next phase? Any questions from anyone?
Sheikh, have you finished this revision book number 1?
Pardon?
We have already finished that revision book number 1.
I know you have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
I'm
she's
just,
asking about the revision of the book 1.
Book 1, because you told us that there will be a mock exam.
yeah. I will give you a mock. I'll give you the mock exam. I'll send it in the group, and I will ask you to do it. I'll send that across to you today.
But do we finish lesson 9 and 10?
We have.
Last time.
Yes, we did. Okay, let me do this first. Right, let me show you this on the screen. Right. Can everyone see this on the screen?
Yes.
Right, I want to teach this before I end today's session itself so that I'm on target with what I want to do. Right, now the present tense verbs itself, they are made from the past tense itself. And you will see over here, the present tense has 2 forms as well, 3 forms. The middle letter can either come with a fatha, kasra, or a dhamma itself. So there are 3 patterns for the present tense itself. And yadrusu, the first 3 are for the third person masculine, and the second 3 are for the third person feminine. And the next 3 are for you masculine, and the next 3 are for you female, and then I and we for the speaker itself. So when we want to make the present tense for he he learns, they too learn, they all learn, you add a ya in all 3 forms in the beginning. So it becomes yadrusu, yadrusani, yadrusuna. So we add the alif and noon for the dual, the waw and noon in the plural. And before the waw, there's always a dhamma there. So yadrusuna. Yadrusu, he learns. Yadrusani, they too learn. Yadrusuna, they all learn. Tadrusu, she learns. Tadrusani, they too learn. And then they all females learn. We add a noon with a fatha at the end, and the scene itself is given a sukoon, becomes yad rusna. Yad rusna itself. Yeah, I'll send this across in the group once I finish today. So yadrusu, yadrusani, yadrusuna. He learns, they too learn, they all learn. Then she learns, tadrusu, tadrusani, yadrusna. They all females learn. Right. Is this clear? If it's clear, then I will ask, who should I ask? Sister Farwa Jafri, can you come on the mic?
Yes.
Go ahead. Yadrusu.
Yadrusu, he learns. Tadrus, or do you want me to go horizontally?
Yeah, horizontally.
Yadrusani, they two men learn. Yadrusuna, they all men learn.
Mhm.
Tadrusu, she learns. Tadrusani, they two females learn. Tadrusna, they all
Yadrusna.
Yadrusna, they all females learn.
How do you say she learns?
She learns. Tadrusu,
How do you say he learns?
Yadrusu,
They all females learn.
Yadrusna,
They all boys learn.
Yadrusuna,
She learn. They two females learn.
Tadrusani.
Excellent. Is this clear for everyone so far?
Yes, thank you.
Sister Nasreen, Sister Samira, Sister Siddiqa.
Yes, Sheikh.
That was a
Just
very
trying to grasp.
okay. No problem. Sister Siddiqa, is that clear for you?
Yes.
Okay, come on the mic.
Okay.
So the next six, so next six is tadrusu, you learn, one male. Tadrusani, you two males learn, and then tadrusuna. So the next six, they have tas in the beginning itself. Tadrusu, tadrusani, tadrusuna. So the plural masculines always come with the waw noon itself at the end. You learn, you two males learn, you all males learn. And you one female learn is tadrusina. What is it? Tadrusina. You one female learn, tadrusina. And you two females learn, tadrusani. So you two males and you two females, both of them are tadrusani, tadrusani. And you all females learn, like for the third person female, they all females learn. We have the noon with a fatha, yadrusna. Here we have a noon again at the end, but here there is a ta in the beginning. Tadrusna. Sister Sadiqa, Bismillah. Go from tadrusu.
Just I put the question, please.
Yep, go ahead.
You know, it says first person, second person, and third person.
Yep.
So when is the third person come in? When this not there, present, or what happens? Because you talk about first person about myself, second person you talk about the next person, but when does the third person come in?
We're talking every time in the conversation. For example, Sister Sadiqa, she's a good student. She didn't study with me book one, but she joined with my class because she was a keen student. So I'm talking to you, but I'm talking about Sister Sadiqa, who is in the conversation, but she's passive. She's the third person. So when I'm speaking direct to you, it's you. But if it's about another person who's next to me, she's he or she.
Oh, okay. So that person becomes a third person.
Exactly.
All right. Okay. Thank you.
Is that clear, Sister Sadiqa?
Yeah, I just think of it as sort of good backbiting.
Go ahead, Tadrusu.
Tadrusu, you male learn. Tadrusani, you two male learn. Tadrusuna, you all male learn. Tadrusina, you female learn. Tadrusani, you two females learn. Tadrusna, you all females learn.
And I and we?
Adrusu, I learn. Nadrusu, we both or we all learn, male or female.
Right. Who's going to be next? Sister Samira, can you do all of them, please?
Yes. Yadrusu, he learns. Yadrusani, they too male learn. Yadrusuna, they male learn. Tadrusu, she learns. Tadrusani, they too female learn. Yadrusna, they female learn. Tadrusu, they male learn. Tadrusani, you two female learn. Tadrusuna, you plural male learn. Tadrusina, you female learn. Tadrusani, they two female learned. Tadrusna, they plural female learned. Adrusu, I learn. Nadrusu, we learn. Nadrusu, we learn.
Is that clear for you?
Yes.
That wasn't that confident.
It's not. It's not.
Okay, practice makes perfect. Okay, Brother Muhammad, merchant.
Yes.
Bismillah, all of them.
With translation or just the words?
With the translation with you.
Okay. Yadrusu, he learns. Yadrusane, they two men learn. Yadrusuna, they all men learn. Tadrusu, she learns. Tadrusane, two females learn. Yadrusna, two female learn. Tadrusu, you male learn. Tadrusani, you two males learn. And Tadrusuna is all male learn. Tadrusina, you female learn. Tadrusani, that is your two female learn. And Tadrusna is all female learn. Adrusu is I learn, and Nadrusu is we, whether male or female.
Excellent.
Learn. Yeah.
Is this clear for you?
Yeah.
Any questions?
No.
Okay, brilliant. Any questions from anyone else? Any questions from anyone else? No?
The question I have though is, on the top, so you've got those, the signs of the letter.
Yep.
Which changes from fatha, kasra, and they change basically.
Mm-hmm.
And that is because of the Arabic language, or for what reason? I mean, can you highlight
the reason why fatha, kasra, dhamma is because of the word itself. So some words which are pronounced from the halaq itself, they are difficult to read with a certain harakat. And due to that, there are certain letters come with a dhamma, certain letters come with fatha and kasra itself. And also, it's the way the Arabs pronounce those words as well.
Right.
So that's the
reason. So fele mazi.
Yep.
For darasa.
Darasa, yeah.
So it's darasa, but then in muzare it becomes yadrusu.
Correct. That's right.
Darasa changes to yadrusu.
Correct. So that's the reason why, if you look in your WhatsApp group, I've sent you a pattern sheet where it's got 6 patterns. So the past and present tense verbs, it has 6 patterns itself. So all verbs in the Arabic language, which are 3-letter verbs, they only come on 6 patterns itself.
Okay.
Okay. Right.
Yeah.
Any other question from anyone? No? So the homework is following. I want you to learn the past tense and the present tense well. And I will send you in the group 3 verbs I want you to practice. One is yadrusu, the other one is yadribu, and the third one is ya'lamu, or either yaftahu. So I want you to practice 3 verbs, one with a fatha, one with a kasra, one with a dhamma itself, the present tense. One with a dhamma, one with a fatha, one with a kasra. Is that possible?
Sorry, can you repeat them? The first is...
I'll send it in the group.
Okay.
I'll send it in the group. So that's a homework. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد اللهم كن لوليك الحجة الحسن صلواتك عليه وعلى آبائه في هذه الساعة وفي كل ساعة وليا وحافظا وقائدا وناصرا ودليلا وعينا حتى تسكنه أرضك توعا وتمتع فيها طويلا واجعلنا من أنصاري وشيتك وجندك برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد